right, man. Brian Norman will possibly the knockout of the year. I know we had another really good knockout on the Pro Box card. I forget who it was, but man, hell of a win, Brian Norman Jr. I believe they were fighting in San Diego, where Santillan was from. Um, I mean, he came and delivered. I didn't know his dad was a former pro. Um, he got the 10th round knockout. He fought well. Even when his back's on the rope in the fight, I think it was part of his plan to kind of save his legs. Um, he wasn't trying to turn everything into those shots off the ropes. The beautiful thing about it was, he was scoring and catching off the ropes. The thing about it is, you think about the visual. You think about the visual of it, and to the judges, it visually doesn't look good. You know, yeah, to them judges, but if it's effective, you know what I'm saying? If it's effective, it's going to tell. And he was very effective. He cut him open twice. Um, yeah, he cut him open twice. Over the eye, I think over both eyes, and then busted his nose open. He was doing the more effective shots. Santillan just thought, like everybody else, they brought this to be his correlation. You know what I'm saying? That's what they brought it in to be. And you know, it was Norman was brought to San Diego to lose. This is where he was from, San Diego. Norman was brought there to lose. Real spill. Norman was brought there to lose that fight, bro. And at the end of the day, you know, as brothers, man, we live with a different type of pressure. You know what I'm saying? With brothers, we live with a different type of pressure, bro. You know what I'm saying? We live with a different type of pressure. So, it's normal for us when the chips is stacked against us. That's normal. That's normal. You come into his backyard, you probably lose his fight. They might use you as a journeyman or a stepping stone, or they might cut you all together. You might have to get it out the mud. That brother had 25 fights coming in before, he was 25 years old. He's 23 years old. So at the end of the day, he came ready for this opportunity, came in great shape. His uppercut was well. I mean, he had some mental lapses he got to fix on, like pulling straight back and keeping his head on the line a little bit too much. But those are all correctable just by dropping, bending a little bit, dropping his chin, and just remember to get his head off the line. But the talent is there. And when he had when Top Rank made him put all his chips on the table, um, he put all the chips on the table. He literally put all his chips on the table, and he cashed out. Now he's the WBO 147-pound welterweight interim title, title holder. So in all likelihood, Bud does what he do. I guess bat him off. He'll be the full champion. And at the end of the day, 23 years old. He got power, got speed. Seemed like got a really good corner. Just need to clean up some lapses that he have in there. But his ability, his accuracy off the ropes, his accuracy in the middle of the ring, and they knew it, man. Santiago liked to come forward one way, and what he did, he used some sauce. He used the sauce, and the sauce was his ability, just his natural gift, God-given ability, and that was not to move too much. He turned them, he slicked them, he kept turning them and showing them the sauce. Like some of these fighters get in there and they start boxing and unnecessarily moving. He didn't do that shit. He moved with a purpose. He boxed. And then when he got into the when he got into when he got into the ropes, he was just saving his legs. He was comfortable there. He was able to defend himself on the inside. He was able to do damage on the inside. He was able to be accurate. He was able to, he did the right amount of body punching. I feel like at the point of stoppage, when he tried to stop him, I know he had his head hurt, but when he hurt him the first time before the nose, I think, splattered open, I feel like he should just went to the body. He could work up and when he got a guy out of there hurt, he better off if he work a little bit down and up and down. I thought he was just too up as far as head hunting, but the hooks, the jab, the two, everything was working for him tonight. And Santiago, Santiago, Sanin, whatever. I thought he was better than what he was. But this show you styles make fights. He beat Alberto. I mean, he beat um damn, what's the cuz name? Alexis Rocha. And went through Alexis Rocha. What the difference is, it's another Mexican coming forward. He was in there with a guy, that knew his right hand was gonna be the truth versus you being a southpaw. That just had athletic ability, and he used it the right way. He really optimized his energy. He was very efficient. He didn't waste no punches. Um, and Santiago kind of there and just knew if it's close, I'm gonna get the decision. Oh, this kid ain't that good, and he showed up in his biggest moment. Like I said, that pressure that we got as brothers, man, and as men in general, it's nothing. Once you start to think about it, it's absolutely nothing. Real talk. It's life is on super duper hard on us. Um, as hard as us as men. Ain't no bailout. Either you walk through that door or start all the way over, and that was what he was faced with. Either you walk through that door or you gotta start over with. And that's just what it is. And nobody here to bail you out as a man. And apparently he was prepared to go 12 hard rounds. Pause. And but being prepared to do that, it was in great shape. They was in great shape. His father had him doing the thug thizzle. And the uppercut was, I mean, they did a great job. You fight a Mexican or somebody that got to give up height like Usyk and Fury, you prepare the uppercut. And just don't prepare to throw the uppercut to upstairs. Prepare to throw it to the body. Because when you can throw the uppercut to the body and then, you can throw it upstairs, then you got to defend both. If you constantly just throwing the uppercut upstairs, what do I have to defend? Nothing, just upstairs. Okay, well, I'm going to do Usyk. Then just move the other way. That's what he did. Just move the other way. So when we started kind of talking about these things, man, he was very well prepared. He was very well prepared, man. So, um, but Santiago, I just think he thought like everybody else he was gonna come in here and run over this kid. But what you got to remember too is when these young guys come in here, um, like Norman, they in great shape. They still hungry and they in great shape. That's the difference. They still hungry and they in great shape. So they young, they can take a beating. Santiago being 30 some years old, this kid was fresh. Not a lot of mileage, almost as many fights as you, but not the same amount of mileage as far as wear and tear. 35 versus 23. He almost 10-year difference. So he thought he was gonna come in here and just run old buddy over, and that ain't what happened. You know, worst thing you could do when you're in there with a novice or a younger fighter, the worst thing that you can do is allow them to get off to a good start. Because the longer that fight go, they're going to learn. They're gonna get better. And he really thought, and I thought in the back of my head, I said, boy, they had a frantic pace. This gonna favor Santiago. And it didn't. Because Brian Norman had the hydrogen in his gloves. And not only that, he wasn't ignorant. He was changing speeds on his punches. Like the shot that caused the trouble, he just threw that shot. That dropped him, he just threw it. So he had a good job of changing the speeds of his punches, not putting everything into his punches. He just touching them. And when he did, throw hard punches, it was to the body. So when he ripped to the body, he go upstairs, and the punch that started all the whole disturbance was just the punch he threw. He just threw it. And I was listening to Bernard Hopkins years ago talking about the art of just throwing the right hand. And he said you don't think about it, you just do it. And those are the punches that cause trouble. Usyk had a similar punch. It wasn't the punch that caused Fury the trouble and popped his nose open. It wasn't the fact that it wasn't the power on the punch. It's the timing and the form of the punch. You know, when you have the time in it and you throw that punch perfectly, speed equals power. That velocity equals power. And the way they both threw those punches that caused trouble, you know, straight left from Usyk, straight right from Brian Norman today, they threw it on a frozen rope. You hear that in the National Football League when a quarterback throw a really accurate, hard arc, accurate pass. Oh, he put it out on a frozen rope. Them punches was fundamentally thrown perfectly. And you can practice that all you want to on the pads, on the bag. This is what you practice for. But when you see the illustration comes to life in real time, the work was perfect they put in. That's what you do all the work for. And you throw that one punch can change your life, and it changed his life. His composure, his poise, how efficient he was, his conditioning. Um, he learned a lot from this fight. And if you want to know how to fight a Mexican or how to fight an aggressive fighter, come forward fighter, it's textbook, textbook, textbook. That's all I can say. It was textbook. You know, take it to the middle when you feel like it. They want to push you backwards. He beat him up off the ropes, beat him up in the middle of the ring. You know, didn't waste no energy. Everything was efficient. Everything was efficient. So, man, shout out to them. WBO interim title. People may be asking, why is it the interim title? Buzz still holds the 47-pound WBO title. So, until, you know, I guess he, you know, see what happened in his next fight, which isn't a guy given that Matarmov will lose or win. He'll be the interim title holder since then. So by the time he fight next time, we should know something. I mean, a new player in the game, 23 years old, and you know, ain't no Russian. He American. He ain't Russian. So hopefully, continue to put it together. They've sparred the best out there. I'm hearing, and yeah, I enjoyed that fight. Glad I caught that, man. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, check the fight reaction playlist, hit the link tree, find me on X, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Apple Podcasts. Check out the Patreon. Appreciate everybody on the Patreon. Yeah, hit the link tree, Kick, Twitch, Amazon Music, the whole nine. Peace.